What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Two-Wheeled Rider YouTube channel. My name is Mario Orsini, and in today's video, I'm going to give you my top 5 upgrades and or modifications you can make to your motorcycle to make it more touring worthy. Because the analytics tell me 75% of viewers aren't subscribed, many of you probably don't know who I am or my background. So what makes me a little bit of an expert on motorcycle touring? Well, in addition to the numerous cross-country trips I've done, I've ridden in 49 states to include Alaska, 5 Canadian provinces, a total of 9 countries, and I got a couple of iron butt certificates on the wall just for good measure. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Now, what we're gonna go over today is pretty much applicable to any motorcycle, whether it's an adventure tour, sport bike, naked bike, even some of the big touring bikes. Some of these things that I'm going to talk about may apply to them, whether they're Road Glides, Road Masters, Gold Wings, those sorts of things. So these are in no particular order, but these are my top 5 things that you can do to make your bike more touring worthy. Now, I will do my best to try to provide links where applicable. Also, I'll try to give you some sort of price range for each of these things I go over. But we're going to start here on the front of the bike with the windscreen. This is a modification you can make to make your bike more touring worthy. In my case, I went with this Puig touring windscreen. It's a little bit taller than my factory windscreen. It also provides better visibility through the screen itself, and obviously more wind protection, more weather protection, those sorts of things. But taller doesn't necessarily mean better. If you're on a sport bike or a naked bike that didn't have any sort of fairing or windscreen on there to begin with, you may not have the option of very tall. Also, the tallest option may hit you right in the head when the wind comes across it. So if you're in more of a sporting position leaned over on the bike, it may make sense to have a windscreen where the wind's gonna hit you in the chest a little bit, alleviating some of that back pain where you're leaned over. It just takes some of the pressure off. So there's no right or wrong, it's what works best for you, but a windscreen is something you can definitely modify on your bike to make it more of a touring machine. The next thing I want to talk about, which is sometimes controversial when talking about an adventure bike, is highway pegs. If you're going to be doing long distance days, to me this is a must-have. It does a few things. One, it's not going to make you look cool like you're riding, you know, some sort of big chopper or anything, but they are great to have. Mine, I've got a flip-up style. I'll try to link them down in the description below. What's nice is I now have multiple riding positions. I have my standard position with my foot on the factory, well, upgraded pegs, but factory seating position. You saw I can put my boot up on here like this. That just gives me another position. I can also extend my leg out, and when I'm wearing my riding boots, it comes up far enough on the back of my leg that there's no undue pressure on my leg. I don't ride like this very often. This is just something to just stretch those legs out as you're going down the road. This is not a long-term position for me. I would say 80–90% of my time, I'm seated the way you'd normally be seated. But to alleviate some of those pressure points on your butt, your knees, your ankles, those sorts of things, they're an absolute must-have. Like I said, it should work for most bikes. Some guys on sport bikes may not have this option, but most other bikes, especially if you fit them with crash bars or something, you should have a mounting point to put them on there. Highly, highly recommend highway pegs. Now we're back up to the front of the bike again. Next thing I recommend, upgraded lighting. Mine did not come with LED lighting from the factory. This is something I upgraded with an aftermarket kit. You may notice I've got some additional lights down here on the side. Those are actually cornering lights, not auxiliary lights. Auxiliary lights are not a bad idea either. That's for a couple of reasons. Obviously, if you're going to be riding long distances, you're going to be touring on your bike, you may be riding at night, you may be riding in low visibility conditions. It's going to provide you with much better visibility down the road in those situations. But even if you're riding in perfect conditions all day long, the brighter your lights are on your motorcycle, and possibly the more lights you have, the more visible you are to oncoming traffic. Now, if they're looking at their cell phone, it's not going to do you much good, but it's going to make it safer for you to be able to see, and it's also going to make it safer for you because people are going to be able to see you. So if you're going to be putting a lot of miles on your bike, you're going to be touring, I recommend checking into some upgraded lighting if your bike needs it. Next up, and this is definitely the most expensive thing, is hard luggage. Doesn't matter if it's aluminum, you know, in this case, kind of aluminum plastic thing, whatever the case may be, aftermarket, factory, whatever you can get. Some of the reasons I like hard luggage. First off, I know some of you are going, but soft luggage is so much cheaper. It is. Soft luggage is cheaper. It's lighter. Unfortunately, it's not as easy to pack and unpack and load and also protect things while you're on your bike. So again, part of the reason I like the hard luggage is, first off, and I don't have this locked right now, it's lockable. So I can walk away from my bike if I'm in a national park or wherever I'm at and not have to worry about my belongings running away. In most cases, it's also waterproof, so I can run through whatever I want to run through and know that my stuff inside is going to stay dry. The other thing I like about it is the ease of packing and unpacking. I get to my hotel or where I'm staying at the end of the night, I open up my case, and if you have a bag liner, it just pops right out and you walk right into your room, and that is why I recommend hard luggage, if applicable to your bike, to make it a better touring machine. And finally, the last modification of my top 5 anyway, is your seat. That is one of the questions or comments I get from so many non-riders and riders alike. How does your butt not get sore? And everybody seems to hate their factory seats. There are aftermarket options. There are even factory options that you can get that are, might be gel seats or whatever the case may be. There are options out there. Or you can go with an aftermarket company. You can even go full custom on your seat. And I have no problems with any of those things, except they cost a lot of money. So what I have found works great for me is a sheepskin. I like the sheepskin for a few reasons. Number one, it doesn't, especially if you got a vinyl seat, it doesn't get hot sitting out in the sun, even though I'm running a black sheepskin. It's easy on, easy off. It's literally just a piece of elastic with a couple of safety pins. Obviously, I got one front and rear. It's cheap. I think I paid $100. The other nice thing about it is it's not bike specific. This is the same one I used to run on my FJR, a couple little trims, and it's on my Super Adventure now. I've been running this same seat cover for probably 8 years. The other nice thing I like about it, because you've got this fur, wool, whatever you want to call it, when you're sitting on top of it, a little bit of air gets underneath your butt, keeping it cool and not getting so sweaty. So anyway, sheepskin's an option, or you can go with an aftermarket seat. Either way, I think you'll have a much more comfortable ride. Again, making your bike more touring worthy. Okay, so I know I said my top 5, but we are going to give honorable mention to the Cramp Buster because they're like $10, and I know a lot of you, especially if you're riding older bikes, sport bikes, naked bikes, they don't always come with cruise control, and you get that hand cramp. And yeah, there are throttle locks out there, but they're significantly more expensive. The nice thing about the Cramp Buster is I can adjust it wherever I want. I'm going down the road and I need to, get that cramp out of my hand. I can while maintaining the throttle control. For $10, even if you got cruise control, probably should throw one in your tank bag. All right, so while those are my top 5 and an honorable mention, I do want to throw in a bonus. I know I'm kind of cheating here. It's really like 7. And this is a free thing you can do. And it's all going to come down to the type of bike you have and what adjustments you can make to it. In the case of this bike, I can move the handlebar. I can move the handlebar forward. I can move it backwards. I can roll it forward. I can roll it backwards. What I'm getting at is fit the bike to fit you. In my case, this is an adjustable seat. I have it in the lower position. I can put it in the higher position. Also on this bike and some other bikes, there are adjustable pegs where you can go with the lower mount or the higher mount. You can move your levers where you want them. And then if you're going to be riding 2-up or you're going to be loading your bike down with luggage and you have adjustable suspension, you can readjust the preload so you keep that same handling that you're used to, but with the added weight. So my point is, look through your owner's manual, see what's adjustable, and get the bike as comfortable as possible just in stock form, maybe before you start going and doing all those other things. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you like motorcycles, well, this is the place to be. If you have any questions about anything I went over, or maybe some suggestions on your own, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon.